Welcome back to the table, everyone, and welcome to another unboxing. We're going to take a look at Dark Souls, the board game. I've never played the video game, so I know it's a tough video game, and I hear that the board game is equally draining and tough. But that's okay. A couple reasons why I wanted to get this. One, it does have a solo play to it, and the solo play is actually like where you take one person, which is cool because I have a couple solo games where one person can play, but you still have to take 2 or 3 characters with you, and that just means, more workload for the one player. But this game, apparently, if you play solo, you just have to manage your one person. So I thought that's great. We're going to open this, but I did want to address a couple things that I did hear bad about the game. Overall, I hear the components are good, the game is good, it's okay, but the rules as written, I hear, are not that good. I mean, so it's still like a good game, but some comments I've read on some of YouTube, I watched people play this on YouTube, and some of the comments said, go to Board Game Geek and download it's like they're called like the extended house rules, where someone is pretty much rewritten the rules and is coming up with improvements on gameplay to speed up play, because I guess the game can be kind of tedious, and I don't always want to spend 5 or 6 hours on just trying to work my way to one boss, but I guess with the rewritten rules it speeds up gameplay quite a bit, I guess in a more enjoyable way. So I'll have to try that out for myself, right? But I said, well, with that in mind, just the expansions look cool, the minis looked cool. I thought, this game was really late to deliver on its Kickstarter, apparently, but now all the Phase 3 is stuff out. So if you're going to hop in, this might not be a bad time to hop in because you can get everything. And it reminded me a little bit of like Kingdom Death. I know it is not Kingdom Death. I've not played that either, but I've watched people play that, and that is a truly huge game with city building, your settlement management and all these things, but it was the AI boss fights that it reminded me of. Okay, but again, having not played both, I can't really compare, but I was intrigued by that aspect of it where there's AI that drives the creatures, so this is like a cooperative game. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So I dived in, and I'll give the rules from the box a try first before I worry about downloading alternative rules, just so I can kind of see what it is that isn't quite working for the game as far as the basic rules. And let's see what's in here. Now, if you've not seen the game before, then great. This will give you a chance to see what comes in the box. If you're very familiar with the game, you're not going to learn much from this because I'm really, really brand new to all of this. But it does have 27 highly detailed plastic miniatures, which you can paint. That was a comment I saw in a YouTube video because I guess someone did his YouTube without painting the minis, and that will probably be me. I'll be one of those. 9 double-sided game board tiles, 4-player boards, 64 health and stamina cubes, 15 dice, 121 tokens, 252 cards, 8 tracker dials, and a rule book. Cool. Now, as far as expansions, I've seen a couple suggestions for expansions. I haven't decided on one yet. I thought I would at least give this a run through once and then decide on the expansion. There's like a characters expansion, and then a couple others that come highly recommended. Right, and then this, I guess, was kind of the joke. You die a lot apparently in the video game, and apparently you're going to die a lot in the board game too. Like that, I guess, that's part of the appeal. That's part of the fun, right? So there's the you died. My son, I think, has played, so he might get a kick out of that. Ha ha ha, you died. Prepare to die. And here we go. We got lots of cardboard already. I can see here's your player tiles. Now, I've seen a lot of these bits and pieces are going to poke out, and that's where you put the cubes to track your health and stamina usage. And as you take damage and use certain abilities to earn stamina or use stamina, you put the tokens to mark how much stamina, how much health you've lost, and when those two things combine and meet up at some point, you die. So there's a lot of managing your health and a lot of managing your stamina. So cool. All very thematic to the game. Now, I am gonna rip some of this open. The other thing too I gotta be careful is apparently this is one of those games where once you take things out of the box and if you start assembling like dials and stuff like that, good luck fitting it all back in the box. I'm kind of wary about pulling things out to look at it, but here's the assassin and here's the herald of things to come. Here's the knight. And I tell you, the other thing that just drew me in though is I love the artwork. I think the artwork is fantastic. Of course, you can't see all of that. But here's a warrior. I thought they said it was only 4 characters. So assassin, herald, knight, warrior. Oh, I guess that was it. I thought there was sorcerer. So I think the video I saw, someone was playing had a sorcerer. That obviously was an expanded character option. And the cardboard is starting to fall right out of the sprue already. So that's cool. I feel good about that. Won't have to struggle too much. So I see a lot of plastic baggies in my future. Here's the board where you can lay out your cards. One thing I saw this gentleman play, he got these really thick, plastic coated, rubber coated. I just had the word, now I can't even think of it, but paper clips that were coated. And he used those to hold your cards together because when you can stack, apparently here's like you can put 2 items attached to your weapon. You can modify it by a couple different things. So just to hold it all together, he just used these really big paper clips because they held things together but held them together loosely enough that it wasn't leaving like paper clip indentations on the cards. So I might pick that up today, go to Walmart and make a trip just to get big thick paper clips. Possibly some health dials. Now that's the one thing that I haven't learned again is all the different components, okay? So just showing you what comes in the box. So you got your 4 characters, there's like your dials for the bosses, other tracking admin tokens to track information, and then the big boards. Now one thing I did order, which I'll probably do a separate video on, but I mentioned this once before. I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody said these boards are going to warp. And that's like just about any game that comes with like these big kind of like cardboard boards. Because I'm about to take it out of its protective wrapping. And humidity will cause these boards to warp. Or depending on how your game was stored and packaged at the factory, it could already have some warped boards. So I ordered off of Amazon. It was like $8 for 100 of those dehumidifier packets that you find in like, things. The ones that say do not eat and we just throw them away. Well, I tried to save some, but I went ahead and just ordered like 100 of them. They also had like 1,000 for $32. And I said 1,000 might be a little much. My board game collection isn't that big. But I ordered 100 of them so I can throw them in here to the box, put maybe 2 in here, and try to keep humidity from warping the big tiles. So that's something I'm going to try and see how that goes. But here, I think the artwork on these is fantastic. I can clearly see everything. Now, this is what I'm seeing a lot of people play on here is you got your tile, then it has locations for tracking your movement. So it's not traditional squares or anything like that, but it just uses here. So if you move like 3, you move 1, 2, 3, kind of a deal. Now this is just plain, doesn't have anything like that, but it's got the campfire. So I'm thinking this might be your rest board where you come and do your campfire stuff. And then on the back, a little bit different version. Oh, it looks like it's the same, slightly different picture, but this is probably home base 1. I'll just call it that, home base. And then you've got your boards. And I think the artwork is really nice on them. From the YouTube videos I watch, because YouTube and videos is what it is, the dots here seem to really make it hard to see, like your eyes focus on the dots. But now that I have these boards here in person, the artwork on these boards is great. I really enjoy them. So you've got, almost looks like 2 Almost looks like a throne room. Well, this looks more like a throne room. Who knows what that is exactly. I don't want to spend too much time speculating. But I don't see, this looks like a big open area. I don't see like a specific doorway. But some of these do have doors. Like I didn't see a door on there, but like here it's got a specific kind of doorway. And so they're not, I wouldn't say exactly geomorphical, but like there's your doorway. But when you lay them out, depending on the quest you're doing, you can kind of see a path of travel. But again, I still think very good artwork. Almost looks like a broken well, kind of outdoorsy. There's a couple of your doorways here. One right there. Another tile. Yeah, I'm really liking the artwork. I like that kind of dark, depressed kind of artwork. So even though the game might be complicated, that's okay. That's half the fun. Well, that just means there's going to be a ton of replayability. Well, okay, so the ton of replayability I've heard kind of goes both ways. If you do beat the game once or twice, then you kind of feel like you know the bosses. So that's why it's good to have expansions. Or even if you just die a bunch of times playing the same creatures over and over, I guess that gets repetitive. But that's like any game. So it's nice to know that they actually have quite a few expansions that will bring you a lot more creatures and bosses and things like that. So here's the rule book. So I will have a flip through and a read through of the rule book. We're looking at about 30, well, here's a little Dark Souls 3, section 1. I'm looking for rules. First journey. This is the campaign rules. Post-game ritual. Alright, so minus the boss activation example, boss activation, even if you include that as part of the rules, you're looking at 31 pages of rules. The post-game ritual is like just a paragraph. So really 30 pages of rules with pictures, examples, it looks like. I'm cool with that. Enemy activations, character activations, combat basics. And it looks laid out pretty well. I don't think this will be a struggle to read. Now, a struggle to find all the rules you need, that might be one thing. I'll definitely have to read this through once and then give the other rule set a run through. Or that might be the bad way to do it. Maybe I should just go straight to Board Game Geek and download the alternate rule set. But I figured, to be fair, I would give the rules from the box a run through first. Game components, so even that you subtract 1 or 2 pages of text reading as far as rules, because here's your components. So you're still looking at like 28 pages of rules, which isn't actually probably as bad as it may sound, because again, a lot of it's taken up with big pictures. So all right, I'm looking forward to it. I say that now. We'll see how it is when I get to the actual reading and playing. Here we have a bunch of cards. I don't think I will take all of these out to show you until I've figured out exactly how I want to store stuff. Now, this tray looks like it is going to design to hold everything, but there's no dividers or anything that will keep it in place. So once I pull the shrink wrappage off of the cards are all just going to be flying all over the place. I don't see... Oh, I love this when they give me the little tab to open. Yeah, I'm okay taking this off because the cards are all individually wrapped. But see, this is the only thing I hate with a game like this, is they go to the great effort to give you like a storage tray, but anybody who uses this storage tray after opening all these card decks know that the cards are just going to get all mixed up in here. It's kind of a pain. You got to make sure you have something flat covering this, otherwise cards will go flying. But that's okay. I got English cards, thanks. I didn't know I had options, so luckily I checked English somewhere, so that was fortunate for me. Equipment, I guess there's like regular equipment and then like really good equipment, which somebody said was really bad because if you have the cards face down, we're just looking at the back of the cards, there was no way to tell which items were the unique items versus the regular items, except for having, when you actually look at the item, there was they have a mark, I think it's up here on this little chest, but there's like a little blue jewel or some indicator that it's a unique item. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm glad people have mentioned some things like that, so I have, you know, I know to keep my eye out for some things, but I don't think that'll be game breaking. I'm sure I can work around that. So we have a lot of cards here to, you know, items. Here's a mission, Ghostly Keep. Tells you what creatures you got to fight through. That's cool. Yeah, so I'm excited. I think the cards look good. You got different size cards. Again, if I was going to use this container, that doesn't leave you room to sleeve the cards. So I'm not sure how important it will be to sleeve the cards. But if you sleeve the cards, then they're no longer going to fit in this tray at all. So you're going to have to really work on some alternative storage solutions, I think. But anyway, we'll set this, the cards aside. Here are bits and pieces for playing. I think a lot of this is going to be the miniatures now. And the miniatures look cool. I thought they looked great. Now, I don't think they're as highly detailed as Kingdom Death. Those have some amazing looking miniatures. And one of these days, I'll shell that $300 and get the game. But for now, this was like $88 on Amazon. So compared to Kingdom Death, this is a bargain. But I can just pull those right out. Here's your cubes for tracking your health and your stamina usage, and you got the little ones to track your character level as you spend your souls to level up your abilities. Those are nice. They feel nice and plastic. I thought they were wooden tokens from watching some of the gameplay, but these are plastic tokens. Not too bad. And then here comes some of the minis, and I think these are going to be some of the bosses. And these, I think, will have no problem storing back in the game. Oh, but they look good. Okay, so top-down view doesn't show you too much, but they look really cool. So what I'm going to do is move the camera in. I'm just... Yeah, let's do that. And take this clamshell off. Alright, now they stored these really nice. I like that. There's the little top clamshell. Now, having not played the video game, clueless as to who these are, but... they're actually, I think these are really good plastics. These are great. Prime them up. Ooh, these would be good candidates for contrast paints. Yes. I have to see pictures and then maybe figure out, go purchase some more contrast paints. But that's a cool looking dude. Little funny face on there. Super fat portly knight with little wings. I wonder if he actually flies in the game. That would make that hilarious. Okay, I like that one. Okay, now get back in here. I'm probably storing them back. I forgot how I pulled them out. I like that. And then here's this one. Okay, that's kind of creepy. Big sword. Kind of interesting looking armor. Okay. It doesn't put their name on there for me. His hand's not glued down, so he's glued down at the feet. So that's alright though. So he's a little... makes a little noise if you flap him around a bit. I think these are great. These are good. Now I saw someone who's going to fight this thing. Yeah, I think these are significant. They're creepy. They are a lot nicer than what I thought they would be. I've had a few games with plastic minis that are just kind of like meh. But these are actually really good. These are like good tabletop kind of war game quality. I don't know how well they're fixed to the stand here. They do feel a little flimsy. Obviously, I'm not going to want to put like pressure on them. But I got a 5-year-old who likes to help with things, and so I just have a feeling that it might not it might survive the Dark Souls adventurers, but it might not survive a 5-year-old assistant. So. Oh, they'll snap down better into place. Okay, that holds them. Here we got a flying person. Yeah, these look really good. Yeah, nice intricate working on the shield. Yeah, I like that. Armored wings. Battle axe tail. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm not too happy. You could say maybe this is the poor man's Kingdom Death. I don't know if that's a nice thing to say, but I think these are pretty good looking. And I'm sure people who play the games and know the lore will probably appreciate these a lot more. I hate to say they'll appreciate them a lot more than me. I think these look great. So I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of this guy. He's got writing on his face, and I can't tell what that is. Yeah, I can't tell what it's saying. I think I've seen some pictures where this is how it is supposed to be. Part of me thought maybe he's missing a head, but I do believe this is how it is, and he's actually got something written where his head is. So I would say maybe as far as the creatures go, this is my least favorite of them. But perhaps in the game, he's probably like really deadly. And it's like one of those ones where you say, oh, I hope I never fight him again. But other than that, yeah, he don't impress me all that much. Yeah, I'm probably putting these in wrong. Yeah, there. I think that's looks like his tail fits there, and I gotta work his tail around that. And then this thing here. Now, really hard pressed to say. It's like eyes. It's a Balchinian. I have no idea, but this is definitely pretty interesting. And I'll have to see how these are painted up. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be grabbing a lot of pastels, and I see a lot of pinks and purples in my future, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, nothing says lovin' like a big, huge hammer and spiky shoulders. All right, I'm going to stick you back and just shove all the pieces in. Yeah, those are great. And some of the expansions I've seen have some equally cool creatures. So, okay, that's not where your sword goes. I have a feeling I'm going to have to face you inward. Yep, I think so. And of course, because I did not put these in correctly, because I wasn't paying attention to how I pulled them out, the clamshell doesn't go back on proper. Okay, that's a problem for another day. Alright, so we'll do that later. Okay, so here comes probably all the non-bossy type stuff. And this is what everybody likes to see anyway, is the miniatures. If you're going to get a game with miniatures, let's take a look. Oh! Alright, so this has your dice, combat dice. Really used to games now with you know, specific combat dice. The black dice, I guess, is the worst. Blue is good. I guess red is really good. Here's some dodging stuff. Alright, so you got your dice that represents your different combat abilities and combat proficiency. Here's the little plastic nubs to put the little counter tracker things together. Okay, thanks. And these are wire tied in. Well, some of them are. He's not. I've seen this one used a lot. He's got a really odd looking bow, but you have several archers here. I mean, I'm not going to say the archers are super impressive. It's an archer. I'm sure he's a very nice person. And again, another archer. Okay. Again, it's not a bad sculpt. I do like this one. I'm not sure what that is. Is that a... Part of me wants to say that's a zombie. It kind of looks undeadish. So zombie, skeleton zombie. It's got some flesh, so I'm going to say it's a zombie. This looks shiny for some reason. But anyway, so that's pretty good though. Yeah, like I said, I think these will paint up pretty good. Get some Nurgle-ish colors on there, and I think they'll look pretty nice. His face isn't as sharply detailed as some other parts of him, but not too bad. Okay, Armored Knight, yay. And these two guys are... I can't pull them out. I have to undo their little plastic tie, but I think I'll just leave that. But then you got these two oddly shaped knights. Real big body, tiny head. Something about that is just creepy. It's creepy in its own right. Uh-oh, miniatures down. We've had some... Oh no. Okay, he goes there, you go there. Wow, I'm not sure what happened here. Did I do that? I don't think I did that, but we've got... Definitely had a little oopsie in here. Alright. Bent plastic blades, the bane of every new board gamer. So I had to get some hot water, try to reshape that, dip it. You get somewhat pretty hot water, so it'll soften the plastic so you can bend it to where you want. And then once you have it kind of where you want, you just dip it in ice cold water to reset the plastic, and the desired position. So fixing that shouldn't be too bad. I'm just disappointed that my minis kind of flew out. Now he's got horrendously bent sword. Yeah, so these aren't, yeah, it's like, well, whatever. I can fix it. It's not the end of the world. Well, that's a weird looking crossbow, but... So we got some skeleton crossbowmen. Now I can see where if this is it for your opponents, I could see somebody say that, yeah, it's a little boring fighting these same things over and over. Okay, I guess you go here. Because you're right, there's really not a whole lot of diversity there. You got like 3 skeleton warriors with... Maybe I'll leave the bent swords. It adds character because they're all kind of weird creatures. And you got like 3 skeleton warriors, 3 knights, looks like 3 knights. And a couple of the skeletal crossbowmen. So yeah, maybe I will pick up an expansion pack. Now there's only 4 heroes. Is that pushed down anymore? I think those are supposed to kind of lock into place, but they're not. And then here we got this person. Now they're not too bad. He's got a little bit of warpage on his spear, but nothing too bad. Yeah, they don't want to fit. There we go. Fit. And then we've got you. But I was thinking I don't remember the name of the expansion, but there is one, like Garden. I don't remember. I don't want to missay it. But I'd look it up again. But there's a recommended one. I think my local game store has it. And then they also recommend that you get the character pack. Because again, playing with the same characters might get a little boring too. But what was cool was, and I don't know which expansion it is in now, but I guess one of the expansions has people wearing some of the armor that you can pick up from some of your items. So for example, you might be with your knight with his really horribly bent sword, but if you maybe that's supposed to be a scimitar and that's the way he's holding it. I'll say it's a scimitar and that's the way he's holding it. But the person I was watching play, when he picked up new armor, he had a matching character in that armor, so he just swapped out the character and said, okay, now I'm wearing this armor. I thought that was kind of cool. So I definitely want to look for that. So there's definitely some ways that you can try to customize out your game a little bit. I guess he fits that way. There you go, you got some heroes. Hopefully they don't fly out. And then some of your minions that you'll have to fight. And then we got a combination of mini bosses and big bosses. And I think there was supposed to be like, there's 2 big bosses and then 4 mini bosses is what the game comes with. So not a horrible amount of stuff for your first couple of playthroughs. Oh, that was much louder than I wanted. But there you go, that's what comes with the game. So we've got here your boxed up minions. And I forgot to put in there the dice and the other things, so I'll just leave those out for the moment. You've got the boss creatures that the plastic isn't fitting quite properly, so I don't want to break anything. So I'll just set them in there for the moment, like so. And that also had space for the little plastic tokens. We did have cards that came with it. And we did have a bunch of these. Oh, I can lift this back up now. Then we had a bunch of the, I think 9 of these tiles. Yeah, the cardboard isn't there supporting it, so it's falling in a little bit. Then you've got your other cardboard, admin tokens, and player boards. You've also got your 30-some odd page rule book. And to top it all off, you died. And there you go. That's what comes in your game. So if you have some experience with the game, please tell me all about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What house rules would you implement? Because I guess that's a fun thing with this game is people house rule this one. So I look forward to the experience, and I don't know if I'll do a gameplay, but I'll definitely let you know what I think of it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.